What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video I am going to be predicting every upcoming main event in 2025 that is booked so far. There's about 11 main events I believe on the books, and then I've got a few other fights that I just think are going to happen, or maybe just some proposed main events that I also want to talk about. But yeah, I did this for the end of 2024. I predicted like the last 12 cards of the year. I think I went back and counted it. I did pretty well. I had a rough start. I picked Tyra against Royval. I picked BSD against Moicano. I picked Pereira against Hernandez. I had a rough start, but we ended it pretty good on the back end. I think I had I picked Prates, Jones, Yarn, Shavkat, Pantoja was main event, and then Buckley. I mean, it was all favourites, but still, I had a good run at the end of the year last year, so hopefully we have a good run. We're 1-1 this year on main events. Obviously, I got the Apex main event wrong. This is fucking Mackenzie Dern of Rebus, who cares? But let's try and get the rest of the main events right. I'm picking a few underdogs here as well. So yeah, let's start off with this weekend's main event between Nassourdine Imavov and Adesanya. So, I've been saying it since this fight's announced. I'm picking Nassourdine Imavov, and I'm picking him as an underdog. I think he's sitting around plus 150. I think he's going to beat Izzy. He has to grapple though, I'll say that. Actually, I'm not saying he has to. Striking-wise, he can still be competitive, and there is a chance it goes to a decision. Maybe, I know even though he's not from the region, in terms of he doesn't train near there or anything. I mean, none of the fighters do, but they claim him all anyway. But no, Imavov, he is Dagestani. And, if you're born within a fucking 5,000 kilometer radius of Abu Dhabi, they just claim, or Saudi, then they just claim you as their own. But I'm picking Imavov to win. Maybe he can get some fucking favor with the judges as well, but I ultimately don't think he'll need it. I do think he has the tools to beat Israel Adesanya. I do think he can do it. Because one, I think his striking is actually not that far off. People talking about, I've seen people being or Adesanya by knockout, and I'm just Adesanya by what? And people saying Adesanya by whatever he wants, bro. Kenny's predicting a fucking masterclass or something. I just don't see it. What's Izzy done recently to prove that he's gonna either knock out Imavov? Because the last guy knocked out was Pereira. His last win was fucking 2 years ago, basically, with a weight drained Pereira who had no chin at middleweight, or had a shit chin at middleweight. He KO'd him, cool, good job. But apart from that, he gets these one random fucking KOs every 5 fights in his career, and then people think he is the most powerful puncher in the sport. But I don't think he does have that much power. I don't think he has counter ability. Imavov doesn't run into shots. Imavov's not a guy who blitzes in goofily, who's going to get caught or leaves his hands down. Imavov's disciplined with his striking defense. He's that typical French kickboxing style, typical French citizen at this point as well. Let's be honest, look at the fucking demographic over there. But no, Imavov, he's got that well-refined French Cyril Gane type kickboxing style. He knows what he's doing on the feet. He's got good head movement, and he's also got a chin. He actually takes shots. I've never seen... Tell me when you've seen Nassourdine Imavov badly rocked. Brendan Allen caught him with some shit in a fight where he was just tired, and people act after this. I saw some comments under that fight being after this I'm so much more confident in Adesanya. I'm yeah, you're confident that Adesanya's gonna ragdoll him on the ground in round 1, have him tired? No. That's the only times when Imavov looks not that great on the feet, is when he gets heavily grappled. And so one, he has to worry about takedowns, but two, he doesn't he does get tired when people offensively wrestle him. Izzy's not going to offensively wrestle. Imavov's got the option to do it. Imavov's got the option to mix in takedowns, and his takedowns are really fucking good. This dude got down Brendan Allen, which is impressive enough, and then also dominated him on the ground. If he can almost fucking finish Brendan Allen on the ground, and get him in bad spots, landing ground and pound, threaten even submissions at some points, and have a whole round of top control against Brendan Allen, I think he can do good work if he gets on top of Izzy. I'm sure Izzy would want him to do some good work if he was on top of him, knowing Adesanya, but still, I don't know, I think Imavov's got the tools. I think he's sharp with the hands. I think he's actually got quicker hands than Izzy, which is a factor. He's got good straight punches as well. And again, not Whittaker, when he got caught, when he got KO'd, fucking blitzing in like a tard. Pereira left his hands down, got chin. Costa was just not very good at all. Imavov hasn't shown the weakness to getting countered. His weakness has been getting clinched against the cage by Sean Strickland, Jared Cannonier, Roman Dolidze, or Brendan Allen, just getting kind of out grappled a little bit and kind of getting worn on. But in terms of the striking, like, this dude won round 5 against Strickland when he had that as a short notice opponent. I know Strickland took the fight on short notice, but Imavov also was preparing for fucking Kelvin Gastelum. So if you look at that fight there, he won the 5th against Strickland. I don't think his cardio in the striking is bad at all. I think he can keep up a pretty good pace. And I just think he's better than Izzy at this point. I don't think he's in his prime anymore. And even if he's 36, like, is he going to be improving? I doubt it. You can fucking watch some videos of him doing the cold plunge or some shit, doing some breathing work. Doesn't mean he's going to come out looking like some new reinvigorated version of himself, gone back to fucking 2018 Adesanya. Like, I just don't see it. So I'm picking Imavov. I'll do my full card predictions probably tomorrow or the day after as well. Anyway, let's move on to the next main event after that. So we got Sean Strickland vs Dricus du Plessis. The real African champion. I'm picking Sean. No, I'm not actually picking Sean Strickland. I was actually thinking about it, and I'm tempted to. But, I don't know. I'm going to just lean Dricus. Because I don't know if Strickland's been making that many improvements. And I don't know if he's going to fight, like, majorly differently. Especially where I just think Sean Strickland's style is just always going to not favour him. It's tough for him because his style is to go to a decision. Like, his style is to volume punch his way to a decision. But his style of volume punching with not that much power, not that much impact, walking forward, doing really not that much at all. It feels to him, and I'm sure to his opponent, it feels like he's in a lot of control. But to the judges, it's like, yeah, he's not really doing anything. And Dricus can kind of just swing big meaty hooks. Big meaty hooks, he's a crafty vet. And just land some swinging fucking big lumbering punches, and he just takes it around. Like, Strickland's style is fucking awful for winning decisions, which is retarded because that's what he goes to all the time. So you'd think he'd want to maybe up his style a bit to look better for the judges. I don't think his style's going to look good for the judges. I don't think he's going to be able to... If anyone's going to be, like, winning close rounds that maybe shouldn't go to them, it's going to be Dricus. Like, there's not going to be a round that's like, yeah, that's probably a Dricus round that a judge gives to Strickland. I think that just isn't going to happen. This isn't me being like, oh, Strickland's going to school him and get robbed. Like, it's not going to... We're not going to see a fucking 49-46 Costa scorecard like we did Dave Torelli. But I don't know. I think Bedtime's picking Strickland. I saw his video. I believe he said he's going to be picking Sean Strickland by decision, which is a fair call. Because the people that are being like, oh, Dricus is going to maul him. Like, Kenny hates Strickland. It's fair enough. He walked down Adesanya, beat his ass. So his idol got destroyed. So he can't support Strickland. But I don't know what his deal is because he says Dricus. But it's like his weird coping mechanism that he's got going on there. He just doesn't want to come to terms with the fact that Strickland's 49-46 dizzy. But he's saying Dricus is going to fucking maul him and, like, finish him and submit him. And I'm just like, why? Like, why? Why is that going to happen? Tell me. Because we haven't seen Strickland mauled on the ground by anyone. Would I pick him to lose to Khamzat Chimaev if he fought him? Yes, probably. I don't know how confident I am that anyone can survive round 1 on the ground with Khamzat. But, like, Dricus is not Khamzat on the ground. Like, okay, he bum-rushed a submission against Adesanya. Apart from that, you know, you choked out fucking Darren Till, Mr. No Takedown Defense himself. Like, good job. I'm not saying Dricus is bad, but I'm like, okay, where's this fucking unstoppable grappler narrative come from? Just because he scored some takedowns in the first fight, which apart from about, I think he got like 6 takedowns, probably had a total of like 1 minute of control time. Like, Strickland got back up most of the time. But I do think Dricus' style is better for winning the decisions, and I do think Strickland's probably going to come into this bit frustrated, bit like, oh, I got robbed the first time. Dricus is probably like, I'm just fighting this fight. He probably won't be as nervous as he was the first time either. As well, I don't know, unless Strickland fucking swells his eyes up again in round 1, I don't think he's going to make Dricus struggle as much, like, on the feet as well. I still think Strickland will look better in the striking. It is close, and I am tempted to go Strickland because I don't think the odds should be that wide. Like, the first fight was a razor-close split decision, which I thought Strickland won that could have gone either way. And that odds for that fight was like minus 110 either way. Why the fuck is Dricus like a minus 200 favourite? Like, we're acting like what, Strickland's got fucking dropped in his next fight after that and took a bunch of damage or looked mid. Like, he didn't look mid, he just was boring. Like, people are like, oh, that was an awful performance. Like, it was awful, like, entertainment-wise. He still walked down Paulo Costa. Like, Paulo Costa, the fight before that, had a fucking war with Robert Whittaker. Like, rocked Whittaker in round 1, competitive fight, lost the last 2 rounds. Strickland basically just 50-45'd him and gave him no moments. Right? And we're being like, oh, just because it was boring, it was mid. Like, I don't know. And then what? What did Dricus show that's like, oh my god, he's leveled up so much from the first fight? Like, he subbed Izzy. Cool. Izzy's probably about to get fucking subbed again this weekend, so we're going to see how well that ages. I don't know. But I just don't value it that much. I think Strickland's, like, I'm going to pick Drickus just because, again, like, I don't know. I just think Strickland's style sucks for, like, winning fights on the scorecards. I think it's going to be very similar to the first one. I think Strickland's going to cry robbery again. Do I think it's going to be as close to... I think it'll be slightly clearer. Like, I think there'll be a very solid narrative, like a very solid case for 3-2 Drickus. But there will be like a win thing where it's like, oh, Strickland got robbed. I think it'll be a case of like Strickland's going to outland him by like 20 strikes on the official numbers, but it's going to be a case of damage and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll back Drickus by close decision, but it's a very competitive fight, and I wouldn't be betting on Drickus at like wide odds. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, we got Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues. I'm going to be picking RoboCop. I don't know. I just think Cannonier's cooked at this point. Like, I don't think Cannonier's at his best. He's taken more damage every time. Like, the losses went from, like, alright, you got outpointed by Adesanya. You got rocked a bit. Or before that, you got rocked a bit by Whittaker. You know, Whittaker hurt him, but still, you know, you lost a fight there, took a bit of damage, you know, hurt your arm, whatever. And then the losses were, like, a kind of early, I'm not going to say, it was an early stoppage against Imavov, but he got rocked by a right hand, showed that his chin's probably not all the way there. Then Borralho rocked him in the third, almost put him out cold in the fifth, beat the fuck out of him, definitely could have been stopped, somehow survived that. Gregory Rodrigues is a power puncher. This dude cracks. This dude can wobble people. How are any of his wins like super impressive? No, but I have a feeling this is going to be like the breakout performance for Gregory Rodrigues. This is going to be the one where the casual fans who probably don't know who this guy is are going to be like, what the fuck? This dude just whooped Cannonier. And it's going to be a win where we kind of got to look at context and be like, yeah, but Cannonier was on a loss streak. But I still think he'll have an impressive performance. Also, people forget, man, his grappling is actually really good. Like, he took down, I know it's fucking Dennis Tallulah, like, he's a bum. But, like, he took down Dennis Tallulah, passed his guard to mount, and just elbowed the fuck out of him, like, killed him. Like, immediately. Like, if he offensively wrestles people, gets them down like he did to CLD a little bit in their fight, he can do damage, and he's got power, he can cut you open, like, he's got solid. His chin is a bit questionable, but, like, Bruno Ferreira KOing you, I don't hate that too much. And I don't know, Cannonier, like, he looks like a big power puncher, but, like, who's Cannonier KOing? Like, show me the last Cannonier brutal finish on the feet. Like, I'm not going to fault him for not finishing Vettori, but, like, still, even without Vettori, he's had opponents. Which ones of them is he fucking KO'd? Like, there ain't that many recently. So I'm going to back RoboCop to get him out of there on the ground, maybe. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, Song Yadong versus Henry Cejudo. Don't mind the, I don't know what happened with that graphic there. It must have glitched out. But no, I'm going to be picking Song Yadong to win. I think he's going to get a finish as well. I don't know, guys, listen guys, I'm Triple C guys. Henry Cejudo, yes, I know you won an Olympic medal fucking 20 years ago, mate. You can shut up about it, alright? Like, Cejudo, I just think at this point, like, you're bringing up fucking accolades and you're bringing up wins from ages ago. And you can be like, oh yeah, but he won the first round against Merab. Like, that's not, winning the first round against Merab is like a requirement. Like, if you don't win round 1 against Merab, yeah, you're fucked. Like, PDR, I don't know how do you not even win a single round against this dude, bro? Like, you gotta at least, it's excusable if you at least win, like, 2, and then you get dominated in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Like, PDR didn't win a single round, but, nah, Cejudo won the first, rocked him a bit, but to me that doesn't mean shit. Like, are you trying to tell me that Song Yadong also wouldn't probably rock Merab on the feet and then lose later on? Like, that would probably happen. Moraes rocked him, like all these guys rocked him, but I rate Song Yadong's striking. You know, he KO'd the granite chin of Marlon Moraes, of course. I'm being sarcastic. Marlon Moraes about to go on a title run in GFL. But I'm gonna reach out to that whoever the founder is, Darren Owen or whatever, and try and get an interview. I'm gonna get Darren, first ever Left Lane channel interview. I'm gonna get the founder of the GFL on the channel. Help me out, boys. You got to keep adding him on Twitter and just be like, yo, get Left Lane to interview you. Anyway, though, I'm picking Song Yadong to win. I don't know. I think Cejudo's prime for a chinning. He's 10 years older. Song cracks. He gave trouble to Peter Yan in round 1. Like, I picked him to win that fight. I stand by the fact that wasn't a bad pick. Like, he was giving Yan problems in round 1. And yes, Figgy was, like, overall competitive with Yan. Apart from, like, 1 knockdown, you kind of never really were worried for Yan in that fight. Am I wrong? Or like, because I was watching it with friends, and my friends were like kind of freaking out. They were like, fuck, Jan's washed both Song's beating him, like he's going to win. And then Jan came back, but like Song was giving him trouble. And this dude, he's like 6 years old. He's like 27 years old. And he's already fought Peter Yan, Corey Sandhagen, Cheeto Vera. Like, he's fought Marlon Moraes, KO'd him. Like, he KO'd Marlon Moraes, I should say. Like, he's already getting all this experience fighting all these top-level guys. And I rate it. And I think he's doing well. He's competitive with Corey Sandhagen. He's competitive with Peter Yan. He's not getting blown out of the water by Peter Yan and finished in the third round. Henry Cejudo, at this stage, I feel like he probably gets fucking finished late by Yan. Or he gets fucking outpointed by Sandhagen. Like, I don't know. I think Cejudo's kind of past it. He's 37. Again, I'm not picking a fucking 37, 38-year-old to win a fight at a top level in the lower weight classes. Like, it's just a difficult thing to do. I don't know how well I can back Cejudo to be like, yeah, I think he's going to put on a wrestling masterclass. Song's got elite takedown defense. Is Cejudo going to outpoint this guy on the feet? I don't think so. This little fucking... You can't see me right now because it's fucking 2 a.m. and I'm recording this shirtless in my bedroom. Don't know why I'm telling you that, but like... This doing this little fucking hand up thing. Like, these guys, if you would have just done it that way, maybe it would have worked, but... Now, this guy, I was looking at, I was like, what the I've never seen that more fucking, like, these guys are fucking genius, yeah? Like, he's doing the Connor fucking, the shit, he was making fun of him with the little fucking hand up, bouncing around, looking like a retard. And I don't know if that's gonna fucking work. His chin comes up in the air all the time. I think his striking defense is fucking not that great. It's decent. Like, Cejudo got KO'd by DJ. DJ's great. He's not that much of like a KO artist. He's just found the chin. Song Yadong cracks. I think if he finds his chin, he's getting him out of there. I think we're going to see a Song Yadong KO and a Henry Cejudo retirement. And yeah, go back to full-time recording your shitty fucking podcast with Kamaru Snoozman. Anyway, let's move on to the next main event. Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape. This one's an interesting one. And this one's one where it seems like the odds are retarded. Because Brandon Royval's like an underdog. Like, Kape is like a minus 200. Which seems nuts, because yes, he put on a fucking masterclass against Bruno Silva. But like, Bruno Silva's a fucking midget. Like, I don't know how much I rate that. Is beating Bruno Silva, like, enough to say for me to pick you against Royval, who's coming off wins over Moreno and Tatsuro Taira. Like, as an underdog in both fights. Like, I don't know how confident I am picking against him. But... something tells me, I think, we're talking about guys whose styles look good for the judges. I think Kape has a style that looks great for the judges in this type of fight, where I don't think he's going to get finished, unless his cardio is dog shit, because we haven't seen this dude in a 5 round, I don't think. He hasn't fought 5 rounds. But his cardio seems okay. Like, it doesn't seem like his gas is out beyond belief. Like, against, Bruno Silva, he didn't keep up the crazy pace the whole time, but still, like, that was a nuts pace. Like, okay, if he tries to do that, if he tries to go out there and use Royval as a punching bag in round 1, he probably ain't gonna fucking get him out of there, so that'll be trouble. But like, if he fights at a tempo sort of like even strike for strike pace, I think he'll look better. I think he'll look more flashy. He can do his little fucking acting like he's not getting hit, or doing his little anime shit and his fucking Kendrick Lamar disco moves and stuff. I don't know, doing his GNX music video fucking choreography. I'm not sure what he's up to, but the album was not bad. It was decent. Good job, Manel Kape. Keep it up. But anyway, I don't know. Like, Royval is good. He's good, yeah, and he puts like. But like, I thought Moreno looked fucking mid as hell against him. Alright, I think the Moreno that fought El Bazi would have beat Royval in my opinion. I also think that Tatsuro Taira, young, unproven, yet to kind of go 5 rounds, yet to be in sort of deep waters, getting pressure applied to him. I think that's just a case of Taira kind of breaking a little bit, not necessarily Royval just being so far. Like, he's a great striker, yeah, but Kape's composed, Kape's been in these fights, maybe not 5 rounds, but I think he knows what to do. He's not going to get broken. He's not going to kind of get flustered and start to like back up and get himself put in bad spots like Taira did, where he almost got himself fucking armbarred or something at one point. Like, I don't know. I rate Kape's like fight IQ to an extent. I rate his technique. I rate his skills overall, his speed. I think he'll be definitely quicker than Royval. That'll help evading some punches. And I think it'll just be, again, bigger moments. Even if his shots aren't doing that much to Royval, they'll look good. They'll look good for the judges in the Apex. His corner will probably be going crazy for him. And I don't know, I think he'll eke out a decision where the scorecards won't reflect. I think I could see like a 40, like I could see like a UD or like a split decision. One of the, like we hear split and we're like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then we hear like 49-46 cap and everyone's like, what the fuck? Because it'll be like really close, but there'll be that one wayward scorecard. So I don't know, I just back him to do better for the judges. So I reckon he'll take it by decision. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. So, Pereira versus Ankalaev, this is the big one. This is probably the most anticipated fight on the books right now. Like, I'm hyped for Izzy Imavov. I'm excited for a lot of these fights, right? But I would say, unless I'm missing one, I would say this is clearly... And I think, except for Jones Aspinall and, like, Ilia Islam, this is probably the most excited I would be for any fight. And, like, just by process of fucking... We all would be excited, don't lie. Like, Conor McGregor. It won't happen, but, like, if Conor returns, that'll be more hype. But, like, Pereira Ankalaev is probably the most, like, second, I would say, most hyped title fight within a division. If you're excluding super fights, like, fighting up a weight class, I think this is the one. This is the one that everyone's looking forward to. This is the legacy definer. If Pereira wins this, he's undoubtedly top 10 all time. Breaking into that top 5, Lucas will probably have in top 2. Lucas will have him above fucking Jones, I don't know, GSP. I'd love to say he would be, though, honestly, because fuck Jones. But, anyway, this is the big one. I am going to be leaning Pereira, because I do think that Ankalaev isn't that smart, and I also just think he's a striker at heart, and when the lights shine brightest, when the pressure's all on you, are you going to go away from your base? Are you going to stand your base? Or are you going to fucking... Like, is he going to strike? That's his base. Like, are you going to stick with what brought you to the dance? You've done all these last fights against Rakic, against Walker. You're getting KOs. You're feeling yourself. You probably want to prove a point. Pereira, Ankalaev probably feels Pereira's been ducking him. They've been engaging in some shit talk. Does Ankalaev want to fucking smudge him to a 49-46 decision on the ground? Does he? I don't think so. I think Ankalaev's going to want to strike. I think he's going to strike. I think his legs are going to get fucking chewed up. And he's going to shoot bad takedowns if he does shoot him after getting hurt. I don't think it's going to be a case of like he comes out like Blachowicz, shoots 20 seconds in, gets a round of body triangle control and wins the first. And everyone's like, fuck, this is not going well. I think if he's shooting takedowns, it's going to be desperation shots. It's going to be like he did against Blachowicz in round 4 after his legs are fucking gone from under him when he's finished doing the Irish jig. Like, I think his calves going to be cooked. I think he's going to start getting hurt in the feet. And I just don't think he's at the level of striking as Pereira. I think if you think Ankalaev is, like, actually as good of a technical striker than Pereira, you are retarded. Like, I think Bedtime and Kenny, I know they're picking Ankalaev. I don't know their method of victory. Like, if you're picking Ankalaev by KO, which probably fucking MMA Joey is, let's be honest, because that guy just for some reason hates Pereira. Just allergic to fun. How dare you be fun in the sport, honestly. But I don't know. I just don't think Ankalaev's going to do that much damage to him on the feet. Like, maybe he could kind of catch him with a few jabs, so it'd be a bit quicker. But I don't think he's got Roundtree power. I don't think he's got the potential to lay out Pereira. I don't think he's that much quicker. Like, Roundtree was, like, significantly quicker than Pereira in the early rounds. But again, Ankalaev, he got outstruck cleanly by Blachowicz for 3 rounds. We've seen Pereira put the pressure on Blachowicz and having fucking panic shooting in 2 and 3. Like, and if Ankalaev's panic shooting, I don't think they're going to be good shots. I don't think they're going to be good entries. And even if he gets on top, Pereira's usually just fucking content to just ride out the round and just be like, okay, I'm going to make you expend energy. I'm not even going to try and do shit. You're going to expend energy on top, and then I'm just going to get back up with like 20 seconds to go. You'll be tired, and then I'll just hurt you on the feet. Like, I think Pereira's got a good style, and I don't think Ankalaev's grappling is like... It's great. He's got good takedowns. I think he definitely could smudge Pereira to a decision. If Ankalaev's going to win, if you're telling me you're predicting the future, you've seen the future, Ankalaev wins the fight, I would say that's unfortunate. But I would also say I would assume he smudged the fuck out of him and made it boring as fuck. And made Dana White go to the press conference. What's the Ankalaev? Yeah, we're fucking stripping him of the belt. You go after GFL, buddy. Go fight Thiago Santos in a rematch. Like, that's what I think we're going to see if Ankalaev wins. But I don't think we'll see that. I think he'll try and strike. I think Pereira will kind of bait him into a stand-up battle a little bit. Catch him on the feet. Left hooks will be working. Counters will be good. Ankalaev lost the first to Rakic on the feet. He got dropped by Santos. he doesn't look that amazing in all of his fights. Like, if this guy was just tuning everyone up, running through everyone on the feet, KOing Rakic, KOing Blachowicz, KOing fucking, like, Thiago Santos, I'd be like, okay, he's a threat. He really could. He's a threat. I'm not saying, like, Pereira's gonna smoke him, Ankalaev can't win. But I just think everyone's like, oh, this is a stylistic nightmare for Pereira. This is not John Jones. This is not Tom Aspinall. This is not someone who's going to just blast fucking rugby tackle him and sub him in a round. Ankalaev isn't that guy. Show me an Ankalaev finish on the ground. It's Anthony Smith and no one else. Like, there you go. That's the answer. Maybe there was one in his hella early career against a bum. But, like, he's not fucking running over Rakic on the ground. He's not subbing, I don't know, Thiago Santos. I'm just going to use these, like, the better names, because Johnny Walker, you KO'd him. Cool. That's what you should be doing. If you beat Johnny Walker and it's not by KO, I don't know what you're doing. Like, if you're beating Johnny Walker by decision, yeah, you're cooked. You've got flyweight power. So I don't know. I'm picking Pereira. I really want him to win as well. This is, like, people are going to be like, oh, you're biased for picking Pereira, bro. Ankalaev's going to maul him. Sorry, I'm biased for picking a fucking plus 120 underdog. Like, this is not like me picking, like, Stipe against Jones. Like, being like, oh yeah, I think Jones is fucking overrated, he's going to get exposed. Like, this is not me just making a dumb pick out of Kape. Like, this is a competitive fight, the odds recognise it. I think if Ankalaev doesn't grapple, it becomes so much. I think that fight, if Ankalaev never shoots a takedown, these odds should be like minus 350 for Pereira. Or minus 250, I'll say. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, when in doubt, bring the middleweights out. That's the UFC's fucking thought process, is what it seems. They go to the war room, the fucking matchmaking meeting. Dana's like, yeah, Hunter, we need a fucking main event for March 15th in the fucking Apex, UFC Vegas 103. And Dana's like, alright guys, this is a badass fight. Let's look at the middleweight division. We got Roman Dolidze. Who hasn't he fought? We got all the other Fox are booked, but I reckon we do him versus Paulo Costa. And then someone else chips in. Now, that's a fucking stupid idea. Why would we do a fun fight? Why would we do a new matchup? Let's do a fucking rematch with Marvin Vettori. Like, yeah, that's the fight to make. That's a badass fight, ladies and gentlemen. That's the most fucking Apex main event of all time, honestly. Like, I posted saying, like, no sources told me this, but I just assumed process of elimination. Dolidze versus Costa. He's fought Vettori, he's fought Hermansson. Everyone else is booked. It's got to be Costa. Nope. Should have just gone with the fucking what's more Apexy as a main event. And obviously it is Vettori. That leaves legitimately the only two people in the top 15 at middleweight, apart from Michel Pereira, that aren't... the only people from 5 to 15 at middleweight who aren't booked is fucking Costa and Hermansson. So Hermansson, time for your yearly fight, buddy. Go fight Paulo Costa. But Vettori, Dolidze, who cares? It's 5 rounds, so I'll probably go Vettori. But he might just look shit coming back. We'll see what happens. Like, maybe we see a reinvigorated Vettori looks amazing. I just don't like picking Dolidze in fights. I never do it. I picked Imavov to school him. That happened. I picked Hollins to beat him. Obviously, he won that in the end. But I picked Hermansson to beat him. He flukes it sometimes. I'll say that. I picked Vettori to beat him the first time. I, for some reason, thought this guy was like a fucking wizard on the ground when after he beat Hermansson. I almost picked him to beat Vettori, and I'm like, hang on. Dude's fucking mid as hell. But I'm a lean Vettori decision. Output, better cardio. Dolidze's not finishing him. I don't know if he takes him down. I don't know. I'll back Vettori, I guess. Let's move on, though, to the next fight. Another badass fight, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, kid, let me tell you about Leon Edwards. This guy's going to throw 7 leg kicks around and probably win a split decision. That is badass. You do not want to miss this. No, but I am going to be picking Jack Della Maddalena. Because I don't think Leon's striking defense is good at all. Belal fucking exposed this man's boxing defense. Now, maybe this is just like a case of Belal being elite, and Belal's actually just a better striker than JDM, and that's what we're going to learn. And Leon just leg kicks this dude at range for 5 rounds, so it could be a boring... That's my call. It's either JDM finish within 3, or it's a boring-ass decision. Could go either way. Probably will go Leon Edwards, because it'll be at London. Alright, that's my call. But I will lean JDM, because I just think, mostly because he's the pocket boxing, right? He's got the hands in the pocket. He's got good combos. He mixes it up well. He throws good hooks, right? Big meaty hooks. And Leon's striking defense, and he gets pressured easily. And JDM, what he does do is he does pressure forward. He does throw combos on the front foot, which I rate. He's not. I don't think you'll counter-strike KOing Leon Edwards. I think you got to be on the front foot, like a Prates is going to be against like a Li Jingliang, you know, walking him down, KOing him. Got to bring in CP into this video at all costs, you know, guys. CP is real exciting, you know. He's a better matchup. I really value what CP could bring to the table against Leon Edwards, you know. No, but no, JDM, Prates, these guys I've said are gonna be difficult matchups for JDM. They have pressure, they have power. Obviously, Prates hits harder. We know this, brother. Who give this guy boxing combination? Well, we have to check this. Who give this guy alcohol and cigarettes? We have to check this. But no, JDM, I think he wins. I don't know. I just think Leon is gonna just back up, and Leon's an athlete. He's not a fighter. Leon is not a fucking fighter. He's a mixed martial artist. He's a professional mixed martial artist. JDM's a professional fighter. Carlos Prates is a professional CP enthusiast. You know, who else? Like, Buckley is a professional YN. Like, these guys are other professions. Leon is a martial artist. All these other guys, they have grit. They've got toughness. They impose their will, to quote the great Lucas Tracy. And I just don't think Leon's going to do that. I don't think Leon's going to be walking down JDM, fucking throwing elbows and mixing in combinations and kicking his legs apart. Like, he'll kick his legs from range, he'll throw 7 strikes around, and he'll probably complain when he loses a decision. Or he'll get finished, and we might see Leon just get laid out. That'd be cool. Anyway, but I will say, though, the glaze from Guru and Bedtime of JDM has been unbearable. And yes, I'm aware I'm doing the same thing with Prates, but still. I will take my humble pie if Prates loses. But Bedtime and Guru have been way too annoying with this JDM glaze, so I don't want him to lose because I don't like Leon Edwards, and I actually do still like JDM. But I also want him to look kind of mid, just so they can kind of pipe down a little bit and stop acting like this dude's going to fucking be a 2-division champion. Anyway, let's move on, though, to the next fighter. Next up, we got the rumoured, not confirmed, but rumoured main event. It's just rumours. I don't even know the guy. He just showed up. But just rumours. We got Yair Rodrigues versus Diego Lopes. Now, if this happens, the pick is obviously Diego Lopes. Although, Yair is tricky. And if Lopes does try and strike with him, he probably will get kind of tuned up and hurt. But I just back his grappling. I also think Yair's defensive head movement sucks, and I think he's available to get absolutely cracked. Volk rocked this dude bad on the feet. I think if Lopes hits him with that, he's putting him out. But I will say, I'm not going to spend too long on this fight because it's not actually confirmed. It doesn't make really any sense, to be honest. It makes a bit more sense than the fucking Josh. Apparently, it was originally going to... Like, 2 months ago, they were saying Emmett versus Lopes, which would have made no sense. This at least makes some sense. Still very little. But this is what I'm hearing. I got my sources, you know. Everyone knows Leftland's got his sources. I got my mustard sauce, my barbecue sauce, you know. But my sources are telling me that Ilia Topuria, you know how there was that whole thing about, I'm fighting Oliveira, I don't want to fight at featherweight. And we were like, alright, shut the fuck up, you're fighting at featherweight. Apparently he's like genuinely like trying to fucking get the UFC to book him at lightweight, and he wants to leave featherweight. Like, apparently he is actually like, no, I'm not fighting at featherweight, I'm trying to move up. And the UFC has been like, shut the fuck up, you fucking goof. Dana White, this fucking goofball, thinks he's gonna go up and fight at fucking lightweight after 2 title fights. Absolute fucking retard. Ilia, no, but I'm not kidding. My source told me, like, he's not trying to, he doesn't really want to fight Volk. He's like, oh, no, I want to move up to lightweight. And so if that does happen, like, if there's some delay on booking, because I'll give you a spoiler, my 3-14 main event prediction is obviously Ilia versus Volk. But if that doesn't happen, then we could see Lopes Volk for an, not interim, but for a vacant belt. Because if the UFC just gets sick of Ilia and they're like, alright, dickhead, if you want to fucking move up, we'll just strip you of your title. How about that, cunt? And then if he doesn't, you're like, okay, so that's your ultimatum. You don't get to fucking move up and keep your belt. Like, that's not how it works, kid. You're not getting a fucking champ fight after 1 title defense. And so yeah, they're probably just like, alright, you want to move up to lightweight? Go, we'll strip your fucking belt, and they'll just do Lopes Volk for the vacant belt. Or we will just see Volk Ilia Lopes in one of these fights with like Yair and something. And that's probably why when Ariel Helwani came out and said like, this isn't confirmed, there's other options being discussed for Lopes. I'm guessing one of them is a vacant title or an interim title with Volk. Just to let Ilia go sort out his little fucking retarded shit that he wants to do at lightweight. And decide if he's a fucking full-time lightweight, because apparently he weighs 200 pounds. But I'll say still this for now is like my main guess for the Mexico card. But I think either Lopes or Yair will be a half of it. If Lopes gets pulled to go fight Volk, obviously it'll probably be like a Yair versus like an Allen or a Yair Emmett 2 or something like that. I don't know. Yair Murphy, Yair fucking not Ortega. Yair, Emmett, Allen, Aljo, any of these guys, Murphy. That could be what we see. But anyway, if he fights Lopes, I'll pick Lopes. Let's move on though to the next one. Next up, we got the unconfirmed, no main event just yet, UFC Vegas 105, April 5th in the Apex. Who the fuck knows what's going to main event this, honestly. I've put two options. I've put Costa Hermanson, because they're the only non-booked middleweights outside the top 5. So unless it's Hermanson or some unranked guy, which wouldn't surprise me. But like Hermanson, bro, you just beat Joe Pyfer. You can get a ranked fighter, but just because you're sitting out for so long, you're probably going to just get another unranked guy. Like they'll probably just give you Kopylov or something like that. So Hermanson's going to have his yearly fight, maybe. I reckon that's about that time. I'm extremely doubtful Costa fights in the Apex. Like he's probably going to just sit out for ages as well. But middleweight is hella booked. Like Cannonier, Rodrigues, Izzy, Imavov, Strickland, Drickus. We got Hernandez versus Allen, MVP versus Shara. You know, we got all these fucking fights booked at middleweight. Dolidze, Vettori. So it'll be interesting to see how we'll see how this plays out, kid. My other option, I don't know, Fazeev Gamrot. That could happen too. Gamrot's saying he's got fight news. So many lightweights to say. Oh, by the way, fight announcement for you. Jalen Turner, Ignacio Bahamondes, UFC 313. Per sources. Mustard sources. Is what they're telling me that fight is happening on that card, which is pretty cool. I'll pick Bahamondes in that. But what was I even saying? So many lightweights have fight news. Joel Alvarez has fight news. Gamrot says he's got fight news. BSD's got fight news. Bobby Green's got fight news. All these fucking guys have fight news. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Maybe it's Gamrot. Like, he just fought Hooker. Like, are they going to give him an unranked guy? Probably not. And I think I looked through the rankings, and no one else really makes that much sense. Or, like it's not going to be Moik or it's not going to be Grant Dawson. You can rule those two out. They just both fought and they trained with him. Let's see. Gamrot. Like, looking down, it's not Armin, it's not Oliveira, it's not Gaethje, not Poirier, not Holloway, not Hooker, not Chandler. Okay, is it Beneil? Are they running a Beneil rematch? Doubtful. Maybe. You know, Beneil did he obviously didn't fight, so they're probably trying to rebook him relatively quickly. Moicano, it won't be Moik. They trained together, and he just fought. Fazeev rematch is my guess. I doubt they'd give him Paddy. Turner, I've just told you guys, is booked. Are they going to give fucking BSD another jump up the rankings? I doubt it. And is it going to be Grant Dawson? Probably not. So if he's fighting a ranked guy, it's either Beneil Dariush rematch or Fazeev rematch. Those both seem relatively apexy. Or it could just be some other random fucking... Like, as in, that's just Gamrot opponent. But the main event, who the fuck knows? That the Hermanson Costa thing is purely because, like, it's a middleweight fight. We could see some blob heavyweights, so we're going to get fucking Spivak versus Tybora 4 or something. We're going to get, like, Derek Lewis versus Mick Parkin. I don't know. Derek Lewis versus Junior Tafa, Apex main event. That's cold. I don't know what we'll get. It's random as fuck. Could be just some women's fight. Who knows? What else? Like a bantamweight fight? Maybe. I'm hearing Figgy Bautista's happening. That'd be cool. I don't think they'll put that in the Apex though. That seems like a crowded card, so a crowded fight, so that you can get all the crowd to just boo at Bautista and throw tomatoes at him. Featherweight wise, you know, Aljo Allen in the Apex are they putting Aljo in the Apex? I doubt it. Like an Allen Murphy in the Apex, Emmett, like an Allen Emmett, a Murphy Emmett, one of those. I'm hearing Murphy Ortega might be happening, or it could be Murphy. I think it's I think Murphy Emmett is happening, and I was told Ortega's probably fighting at lightweight, but maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, I got no clue what the fuck will main event that card. Something retarded, probably some number 7 versus like number 14 ranked fighter is my guess. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. UFC 314, I've already told ya, it's Volk versus someone. Most likely Volk versus Ilia. I mean, if not, they might just strip Ilia and do Volk versus Lopes if Ilia's being too annoying. Because again, the UFC is allowed to do what they want with their belts. The belts are not commission belts. Like, the winners of the fights, like, the results are commission based. They can just decide to fucking strip a champion if they want to. They're allowed, they can book whatever they want. If they wanted to strip every single one of their champions today, make a vacant title fight for every division, they could. They're not going to, but they could. But yeah, I'm assuming Volk Ilia, that makes the most sense. I think they'll probably just be like, alright, Ilia, even though you wouldn't even deserve it after a Volk rematch win, you still should have to fight Lopes, Movza, get like 3 or 4 defenses. If you just fuck off and beat Volk, and then you can fuck off to lightweight, we'll strip you anyway. That's probably fine. But if Ilia is literally just like being like no and trying to strong arm the UFC doesn't get strong armed by people anymore. I genuinely don't think that. Like, Jones is the only guy right now that I think has the potential leverage to strong arm the UFC and not get cut, or not cut, like not stripped or not actually punished. Conor back in the day was like the only guy that could really strong arm the UFC. Like Marab, Pereira, I don't think either of those two were ducking, but like they seemed like they were sort of trying to push it back a bit or kind of explore options, and they're like, nah, shut the fuck up, you fucking goof. You're taking the fight. Take the fights we offer you. Like none of these other guys seem like they can sort of be like, oh, yep, UFC, I'm doing this, and the UFC's like, alright, fine. Like, I genuinely think if Ilia pisses them off too much, they will be like, okay, we don't need you, like, you're good. The company does not rely on you being our champion. If you want to fuck off to lightweight, you don't need a belt. And they'll just strip him. So, I'll predict it is Volkanovski versus someone. If I actually had to say, if I'm more confident who will be featured in the UFC 314 main event, whether it's going to be Volk or Ilia, I think it's actually more likely to be a Volkanovski main event than an Ilia main event. They're either against each other, in which case it will be both. But I think if Ilia doesn't fight Volk, I think it's more likely Volk fights someone else than Ilia fights like Oliveira. Like Oliveira, I think they're going to go Oliveira Holloway. No sources to that, but that just seems like a fight the UFC would make. That makes sense, BMF belt, you know. But I don't know. I'll predict if it happens, I'll say Ilia. I'll be optimistic and say decision. I'll say Volk grapples a lot more, but Ilia still has moments. I'll say it's like an Usman-Leon 3 type fight, you know, where Volk's just a little bit past it, a little bit gun-shy, but he still has some success. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Judging by the UFC schedule, I think there will be a week break. I think they're doing like 11 or 12 weeks in a row until after 314. And then they go on a week break. I think they did the same thing with 300. I think they ran off events for like 10 weeks straight at the start of it. Because they always do first card, they take a break, then they do the pay-per-view, then they run off like 10 cards in a row, then they do that April pay-per-view, they take a week break after that, and then they get back to it. So I think we'll see April 12th is 314. I think we'll see a week break after that. Some other shitty Apex card, probably like a fucking Steve Erceg versus like Alex Perez fucking Apex main event. Honestly, that's my guess. Elmabayev's out against Erceg, by the way. Another piece of info for you is what I was told. Erceg's not staying on the card. They're looking to rebook him for another card. That's per sources again. But if we're looking ahead to May, I can't be fucked predicting some random another Apex fight. But if we're looking ahead to May, the UFC usually what they do is they do, like maybe they do the pay-per-view first week of the month, so maybe I've got the order wrong. But they usually do a fight night. They do an arena fight night. Last year they did an arena fight night in St. Louis. So they did the Brazil pay-per-view. They did arena fight night in St. Louis. And then they did an Apex card. I think what they're going to do this time is arena fight night in Dallas. Usman vs. Buckley. This is, again, no sources to this. Usman vs. Buckley. All that fight will just happen on the Miami card. I've been told that fight's happening. But they'll do that. Then they'll do 315, which I'll talk about in a sec, and then they're probably going to go to Brasilia. Then they'll probably take a week break in between that, or just another Apex card, and then they go on to Brasilia. May 30th is, I believe, the date that's been rumoured. But Usman versus Buckley is going to be my guess. If they go to Dallas, which seems like that's like a rumour that's going around, I'm going to guess either Usman versus Buckley or Usman versus Brady. I think Buckley's way more likely. And if it happens, I'll pick Buck by TKO as well. That'll be my prediction. Anyway, I'm not going to spend too much time on these because, again, these are just some later parts in the video, just guessing. But let's move on. We got a few more to discuss. So, 315, I think, unknown location so far. I'm going to assume it's going to be somewhere East Coast. That'll be my guess. Like, you know how they did the Cejudo card in, where the fuck was it? New Jersey. That's East Coast here, American viewers. Don't bully me. I'm not American. And we don't need... Unlike in American schools, the only geography we learn isn't just American geography. I actually know the world, not just my own country. But... I don't know, New Jersey's East Coast, I'm pretty sure. It's up near New York and Boston, all those places, isn't it? Am I bugging? Anyway, though, that'll be my prediction. We see Shavkat versus Belal. somewhere there in that kind of vicinity. Maybe, I don't know. They usually go to that kind of area, like they did in Newark, New Jersey as well. 302. So somewhere there. Shavkat, Belal, that's my prediction or for the 315 main event. Because again, I think Pantoja's co-main for 314. That's basically kind of been confirmed by every fucking person under the sun. I'm not even breaking news saying that. I don't think Islam's going to fight in May. Unless they just bite the bullet and be like, alright, fine, Arman, just fight him. I think they might just end up waiting for the winner of Gaethje Hooker and then do Oliveira Holloway and then do Arman versus fuck knows who. I don't know. But who else? They ain't doing Jones versus Aspinall in May. I can tell you that much. That fight's not happening in May. And then apart from that, they're not going to do a women's main event. Surely not. We're not getting fucking Kayla Harris and Juliana Pena main event 315. That'll be torturous. But if Belal Shavkat happens, I think it'll happen around May, June time anyway. And my prediction will be Shavkat. I think that'll now be the unpopular opinion, honestly. I think majority of people will pick Belal, and I think he's got a very good chance to win. But people are saying Shavkat looked mid against Ian Gary. And he did, right? He looked mid, he wasn't able to take him down. But if Shavkat fought Belal, you think he's going to try and be taking him down? And my thought process is, what's Belal going to do to Shavkat? Is Belal going to ragdoll Shavkat and take him down and sub him? No, I don't think so. Maybe he just smudges him against the cage. I think Shavkat's defensive grappling is a lot better than his offensive grappling, especially his offensive wrestling, which isn't that good. He's not going to need offensive wrestling to beat Belal. His defensive wrestling's solid, his clinch work's still solid, and I do think his striking can still cause problems for Belal, because Shavkat doesn't back up as much. And if he's not injured again, which it seems like that's gonna just be his excuse for every fight, which alright, fair enough. If you can get away with just saying you're injured 3 times in a row in fights to make up for a shit performance, I respect that, honestly. I can get around it. But I think he can cause problems. I think the range can cause problems for Belal, and it's not Leon Edwards who's gonna fucking back up with a weird Philly shell and just get cracked because he's got terrible boxing defense. Shavkat's hittable. He has a better chin than Leon. He's more gritty than Leon. He's more in the fight, not a quitter than Leon. So I still think he can cause him problems. He's got variety. He's got kicks. He's got he's still got pop in his shots. So I do think Shavkat can still cause Belal problems, and I reckon he'll edge it out, or he'll get a finish somehow, an early stoppage. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. We got one more fight to discuss. So, UFC Brasilia. It's basically been confirmed that they're going to Brazil. Brasilia is the confirmed, or not confirmed, rumoured location, I should say. And now we're getting even more rumours. May 30th is the rumoured date. So that's pretty cool. Brasilia should be fun. Hopefully the fucking Brasilia crowd isn't as bad as the Right Lane. Again, I'm needing your opinion in chat. I'm needing your input in the comments. Is Brasilia, what's the scumbag area of Brazil? Because Rio was Rio was kind of scummy, I'll be honest. Sao Paulo, I feel like could be a bit more. Wait, the Sao Paulo fight was Almeida. They were kind of chill. They did boo a lot, but that's fine. You're allowed to boo. But no, Rio was kind of scummy. But especially for Jamal Glover, and Moreno, they fucking threw food at him. But no, Brasilia, let me know, Right Lane. Is Brasilia slightly better? Who knows? Anyway, I think they're going to do a Fighting Nerds themed card. Let me tell you about this kid, Carlos Prates. He's going to main event the card against Belal Muhammad for the belt. No, I think it'll be a Borralho versus Whittaker main event, or a Borralho versus anyone main event. I think he'll main event. He's sort of the highest up in the in the rankings out of the Fighting Nerds. I think it'll be I think they'll just ice Prates until then and just be go heal your injuries, chill. I was hearing I was hearing that someone just heard a sort of passing kind of comment about Masvidal Prates for the Miami card, which they said that Masvidal, apparently Leon asked to fight Masvidal in London. They said absolutely fucking not. So Masvidal seems to still want to fight on the Miami card. Apparently I heard Prates from someone. Don't be surprised if that doesn't happen. It's not anywhere close to done. But they probably will just end up icing him until May, have him fight on the Brasilia card, co-main event. I say main event, Borralho or Whittaker, co-main event, Prates versus a Jeff Neal or a Wonderboy Thompson or something like this. That'd be cool. And then feature fight, Gene Silva versus a Dan Ige, or Gene Silva versus a Bryce Mitchell. And then you go And then Mauricio Rufy versus someone as well on the card, like a Bobby Green or something like that. I don't know. That'd be cool to get all the fighting nerds on there. And then some other of the... Get fucking... What's his name? Fuck. Hikaru Brito. Get him on there as well, making his debut. Yeah, that'd be good. Anyway, if Borralho fights Whittaker, I'll pick Borralho to scrape a win. Anyway, that'll do it, guys. Those are all my picks for the main events coming up and some other predicted ones. Let me know if you agree or not. But anyway, goodbye.